Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 172A. This is a saddle type threshold. The 172 is representative of the profile of the item, and the A in the part number refers to the mill aluminum finish of this threshold, and that is one of the available options in terms of finish on this threshold and practically all items from Pemko. Let's take a look at the other finishes, and then we'll talk about the dimensional properties of the 172. So the 172 is available in two base materials, aluminum and architectural bronze or solid brass. The aluminum finishes would be mill. This is what it looks like when it's extruded at the mill, and it's just raw aluminum. In aluminum base material, you can do the same aluminum with a AK. It would be a applied non-slip finish to the top of this threshold. Pemko is what they call the K designation. You can do a D, which is dark bronze anodized. You can do a G, which is a matte gold anodized. And then you can do an SN for satin nickel. The other base material is that architectural bronze, also known as solid brass. And onto that, you can order it mill finish. You can order it satin brass, which would be a 606 finish. You can order it in a 605, which would be polished brass, polished with a lacquer applied. You can order it in a 612 finish, which would be a satin bronze type finish from Pemko. You can do a 613 finish, which would be an oil rubbed bronze as well. Okay, so it's available in lots of different finishes, and the reason that it is the dimensional properties of the item. This 6-inch wide and then half-inch tall threshold is incredibly common as a saddle type threshold. You're going to see this sort of threshold used in hollow metal doors and frames all the time because its 6-inch width of the threshold is quite compatible with jam depths. A typical jam depth is 5 3/4, so if you were going to use this, you're certainly going to cope or notch it around the bottom of the frame. But if you had a deeper frame depth, like 8 3/4, using a 4-inch wide threshold, you know, it looks a little tiny on such a deep frame, and you ought to opt for a deeper threshold or a wider threshold as well. The half-inch height is quite compatible with hollow metal doors, which have a typical undercut of 3/4 inch. So you'd have a 1/4 inch there to mitigate, which you'd really use a door sweep or a door bottom or an automatic door bottom. This is, in addition to the different finishes, listed in the website in lots of different lengths. This happens to be a 4-foot length, but it's listed in everything from 2 foot to 2 foot to 8 foot lengths. And you can have longer lengths. If you were doing something that required a 12-foot length, we can supply you with that as well. We just don't list them because the cost to ship is generally prohibitive on longer lengths in smaller quantities because they can't go package service. They can only go common carrier or LTL. However, if you needed 30 of them, the cost to ship them is not all of a sudden such a large number in comparison to the material cost. If you have need for longer lengths, reach out to us and we'll assist you with that. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces and simply indicate in the comment field the length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is this: if you had to take this 4-foot piece and cut it down to say 42 inch, you'd likely eliminate that countersink that's there. Okay? And speaking of that countersink, screws are included in a complementary finish. So if you had to cut this down, you'd eliminate that countersink. You'd have to not only cut it, but then re-drill a countersink. If you ordered a custom length, we'd not only give you that first countersink at the proper distance from the edge, but the proper center to center as well. Cutting it down, of course, would put a couple of screws close to each other. Not necessarily a bad thing, but would not be symmetrical. So suffice it to say, we'll be happy to supply it that way as well. Okay, a very typical and common type threshold. If you are looking for a 172, it's because it's ubiquitous, this sort of threshold. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Pemko products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. The name Pemko is quite synonymous with weather stripping, and they do a great job when it comes to weather stripping, primarily because of their incredibly broad spectrum of available products. That link to the catalog, if you were to open that, you'll see more options when it comes to thresholds and weather stripping, in fact, from a single manufacturer when compared to anyone else. And for that matter, they're someone that you should familiarize yourself with, especially if you have more than an occasional need for weather stripping. If you have any questions on the Pemko, this is their part number 172A, mill aluminum, saddle type threshold, or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.